Durban for this developing story. We understand a shootout has taken place between police and suspects in Ntuzuma, which is just north of Durban. We understand as well that 8 suspects were killed at one scene, and at a separate site in the same area, 1 police officer killed, another now in critical condition in hospital. The police minister is also at the scene. Our senior reporter Dasen Thathiah, tracking the story, joining us now. So Dasen, one automatically assumes that these matters are linked, but give us the time frame and also the location of these 2 scenes and any clarity on whether they are indeed part of the same incident.
Well, Sally, just at the outset, let me first break down this information. It is quite confusing as it comes through, but I want to clarify exactly what's taking place here. So we are at what I'll call the first scene in Ntuzuma C-section. What you're seeing behind me is that cordoned off area where there's a house off to the right of this picture, and that's where that first shootout took place. That is where police were acting on information that they had received, and where the police officer who's attached to the National Intervention Unit was shot dead. His partner was also shot and is now critically wounded. Inside that house, there are 4 people that have been killed. 2 of those, police say, are suspects. The other 2 are possibly companions, but all of them have been killed in that exchange of gunfire between the police and those that were inside the house. And that took place at around 3:30 this afternoon. Now, while we were at this scene, we received information that police were also following up on information not far from where we are standing now. And at that scene, there were 4 suspects that were shot dead by police. The initial reports that we received were that there were no police officers that were wounded in that particular exchange. So that's how these 2 scenes played out. Police have so far they've not confirmed a link between the 2 yet. And to further break it down, where we're standing now, and when we talk about the suspects that are here, this is these suspects are believed to be linked to house robberies. I see the police minister approaching. I want to see if I can get a word with him. Minister, let me see if I can just follow him around the car on this side. Minister, I'm sorry to
speak with the people you're working with, please.
Interrupt you.
Please.
We're live at the moment. Would it be possible just to get a few words with you?
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
You are doing.
Thank you so much, Minister. I think firstly, just to clarify, one of the questions is whether the 2 scenes are linked, this one and the other one that we've been referring to. Can you give us some context? Yes, can you give us some context, please?
Yes, well, there are 2 scenes. The bad one is this one. We have just lost the member at the level of warrant officer, and the other member is in hospital. We are told he's stable. We hope for the best. The one that we lost here, I'm sure we'll be dealing with the family, and the rest of the members are here. Well, they shot and killed 4 criminals that are still lying here. But it's quite a costly kind of group of people. In my hand, I have a list of 10 murders, September, October only, by the same.
The suspects that are in this house.
By the suspect that is in. This is his criminal record. 12 murders in September and October alone. They are a group of more than 2. There are other people. But we are saying, as the police, there shall be no price to pay for this one. It can be only the blood that should be the price for the members that are sleeping here. There are quite several of these groups here. As we say, that Mzinyati, as I move from here, I'm going there. Fortunately, no member has been injured there. But there are 4 people that are shot there. I'm told they are still alive. They are still on the crime scene. Crime scene is still active. So it's clear that criminals have declared war, not just to the police, but to the community, because all these people that are dead here are members of the community, including those that are involved in the CPF and all that. So these are criminals that are wiping anything that is facing the law, anything that is trying to achieve stability and all that. But I'm quite worried because these are the group that sit down, plan and plot against the police. We have arrested another group of 7 in Northern Cape that are running the drugs. Unfortunately, all of those are foreign nationals. Also, they were sitting down and plotting and planning to eliminate the police. So they're not just doing the crime. They're developing these things of eliminating the police. So I think the police should be given the space to do their work. I think all of us will support the police. All structures, government structures, communities must continue. Otherwise, if we don't really have a serious pushback, we'll allow the criminals to run the country. The other thing problem does look like when we catch them, they have a very big number of the ammunition. Yes, they might have stolen the gun somewhere, but we'll have to find out who supplies these bullets. You'll find that some of these bullets are bought by the people that have licenses and all that. I think we need to go back and tighten up in this question of the firearm laws and all that, ammunition and all. We can't allow this situation to continue.
I want to clarify, these groups that you're talking about, I get the impression that these are almost splinter groups of a bigger gang that is operating. Am I getting the right impression from you?
Well, the main person here is a guy called Modis. It might be a splinter group, or it might be a head group that has some...
Is he one of those that were killed?
The Montes, yeah, is killed. Modis is one of the top guys. These names you see here is his work. This is his problem that you see here, is the one that has been killed. So I'm sure there will be copycats and all that kind of stuff and all continue. Some will be splinter group, but I think more than splinter group will be kind of coordinated by somebody whom will be Maurice at the present moment, the one that has been killed in the crime scene.
And the others that were here, were those companions of the suspects that were in this house?
We'll find them. We'll find that later. But the crux of the matter, the death of the member came from that house where they were. Somebody would have to explain later. We could not really separate. But it does worry that this thing of finding the young women among these guys is increasing. You remember that what happened in Maritzburg, yeah, is the same repeat. And maybe it's a time to make call on these young girls to say stay away from these things. But you find that some of them are not just they're not just innocent victims. They begin to be part of those things. That's what we discovered in one of the scenes, that they were being groomed themselves to be part of this nonsense. When they are there and when they shoot, when the police are dying, we're not going to be really asking who are you. The best thing, we are making a call to all those that are peace-loving and those that don't want crime to stay away from this group. They are known, this group. That's why you can see that there are too many people here. And people, they say, these guys have been notorious and all that. So communities must continue to work with us so that we are able to clean this criminality that is trying to take over the life of people.
So it sounds to me like there was a war between the CPF members, well, the community in general then, and the criminals in this area. Is that what the background is to those murders? The criminals were then trying to eliminate those? Why
there should be a war between the CPF members and the criminals? The criminals are attacking the innocent communities. Those members of the community that are trying to be part of the safety of people, peace of people, you can't say it's a war because there's supposed to be no war. People are just attacked by these criminals. If you say war, it looks like they've got two bad sides. It can't be a war. There are criminals that they want to see blood, they want to see people dying and all that. That's why, as the government, as the South African police, I'm saying to the police, we'll have to go out there and make sure that communities are safe. And the response must be equal to what has happened. You can't just lose the member and be normal and all that on the field of where the fire was exchanged and all that. Whereas they go out, as I've said, I repeat it, the only price to pay for that member, the only price to pay for that long list of 12 people that are killed in 2 months, not even 2 months because October is still there, which means this guy was still going to increase this list. The only price for that is that those that he has been working with, because he has not been working alone, though he has been leading, the price must be the blood.
Appreciate your time. Thank you so much. That's the police minister there, Becky Cele, saying now that he will be heading to the other crime scene, which left 4 suspects dead. Fortunately, no police officers injured there. And it sounds there, from what he's saying right at the end, that they are certainly going to be hunting other criminals that are associated with those that were killed in the house behind me.
Thank you so much for getting that clarity for us, Dasen, and explaining that these 2 incidents, the first one, which is where you are at 3:30 this afternoon, 4 suspects shot dead, but tragically also a police officer dying, another one in hospital. Then at a separate scene, 4 suspects have been killed. Interesting how the police minister believes they've got the ringleader, that he is among those who may have died. And he believes that he is responsible for some 12 deaths in the area, murders, he says, in the past 6 weeks. Thank you so much for that update. That's our senior reporter, Dasen Thathiah, coming to us live from eNCA, just north of Durban.